Welcome to the Around the House Show, your trusted source for everything about your home. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Eric G. John Dudley, good to see you, brother.
Good to see you, man. How's it going?
Good, man. This is always fun. Wendy Glaister, welcome back to the show. Wendy Glaister Interiors. So fun to be back on with you again.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me back. I can't wait. This is a fun topic.
Oh, this is going to be fun. And, you know, home buying is one of those things that, you know, it's known as the American dream, except for people like Johnny who go, I just go on a rent for the rest of my life because I'm tired of working on houses. But for many people, it's scary. It's tough.
Yeah.
It can be stressful. And there's better ways to navigate it out there if you're careful.
Agreed.
Well, you just went through this process yourself and you're in the middle of remodeling. So you're ground zero on this, right?
That's how it feels, actually. Yeah. No stress here. We looked for about 3 to 4 years and never really found the right thing. And actually, I feel like God really protected us from ending up in the wrong spot because we made several offers and for one reason or another, they just didn't work out. But I'm so grateful because the home that we did end up with is really perfect for us. And so I think the big lesson of all of that for anyone is be patient. And don't be in a hurry, because when you try to take something before it's meant for you, it doesn't really work out. So,
and this is an emotional process because you're the buyer, let's say, and you're walking to a house and you go, I see it, I love it, I want it. And that's the easy part of the process, right?
Yeah. And, you know, I think there is such a sense of urgency in that industry. You have to think fast, respond quickly. There's no delaying. There's no mulling over. So you spend maybe 45 minutes going through a home and decide to spend however much on it. And then you start the process and you think, what about this? Or what about that? Or does it have this? Or does it have that? Or can I go back? Or can I bring my contractor? And it gets very emotionally charged. And I think you really have to.
Absolutely.
Is that a nice way to say that?
Yep, that is. That is.
And I just think, you know, even like parenthood, if you have people who've gone before you who can help you prepare and kind of know what to expect, it might be easier. So I think this is a really valuable topic of conversation.
And one of the things I learned with this show, people in different states buy houses differently.
Yes.
I mean, in Oregon and Washington, where Johnny's from, when you buy a house, there's no attorney involved. You put the offer in through the Realtor, do that. Things go through an escrow company. So you know, title company, and it's all done that way. But in other states, especially out on the East Coast, like New Jersey and others, when you go to buy a house there is not really that part of it. There's not state documents that you rely everything on. So the attorney gets involved. So you have a real estate attorney that's part of the transaction, and every part of that contract can be negotiable. Where out here, it's a standard form. You're not going around that because that's the state process for it. Now, you can put in all the different terms and all that stuff, but the legalese really isn't debatable. And I think that can make it a little bit cheaper because you don't have another middle person involved in there to, I don't know, nothing against the attorneys out there. You are awesome. However, and I've never, well, I've had some bad ones, but I've had some really great ones that have done really great work. And I'm like, wow, you're a rock star. But in real estate, it seems, man, they're the ones that are making the most money out of the deal, more so than even the homeowner.
Yeah. You just say the word attorney and you've already spent $10,000. When it comes to real estate, you're like, no.
Yeah. And there might be cheaper things out there where it's part of the process. But to me, it's like, why are they debating that? I enjoy our system at least. And I'm not sure how it is in California, but I think you're more the West Coast based where you've got, you know, where everybody controls everything and there's just a standard thing.
Yeah, it's not, I mean, there are some negotiable things, but the process is usually the same. There's certain loopholes that are holes that you have to, things that you have to hop over.
Yeah, the hoops to jump through.
Yes, thank you. I know. I think that's hereditary. My mom doesn't say any of those cute little things the right way either. She says things like, I'm hanging on by a thread or I'm putting my finger down. So it must be genetic. But yeah, I think when you open yourself up to so many different things that you can negotiate on, and if you have someone who might be more about billable hours than true outcomes, it can get a little dicey.
Well, on top of it now with the real estate, and Johnny, you and I have talked about this a little bit, but now they changed the realtor rules out there because a few years ago when you were out shopping for a house, the fees weren't really negotiated. It was just, okay, this realtor is going to roll you around in their Chevy Tahoe or BMW or Mercedes and take you around and show you houses. And now you're signing an agreement with the realtor before you even get the car to represent you and what that's going to look like. And now who pays those fees is a big part of the negotiation.
It is. And we went through this recently with the home that we just purchased. They wanted a certain price for their home. It wasn't worth that. And instead of wanting to come down in price, they wanted our realtor to take a cut in her commission. But she's been looking at homes with us for over 3 years, and that just was not acceptable. So we refused that, and then they came around. But, taking something away from someone that did not sit well with me. But it happens a lot. And I think the human part of buying a home, and again, all the emotions that go into that and all the things that are tied to spending a large amount of money in a short amount of time, that really does need to be navigated by a professional who knows what they're doing. It's not just some flip little thing that, if it's an investment property and you don't really care, that's one thing. But if it's your home, or like the people that I get to work with, their forever home, you really need an advocate who can go to bat for you and who understands the landscape locally and who the different agents are and what you can expect from them and whether or not they're scrupulous or not, what the brokerage reputation is. Those are all very complicated things that are not something to easily sub out. It's definitely a heavy-handed human thing that needs a human touch that's very knowledgeable.
It reminds me of Johnny. It's like you as a contractor, right? You'd go out and bust a job out. Let's say it was a 3-day job, and you get it done and tell the homeowner, this could take 3 days. Well, you jam on it because you got a busy schedule. You get it done in 2 working long hours, right? And then you come back to the homeowner and go, cool, just need the final check for X. And they're like, well, it only took 2 days. And you're like, yeah, because we worked in 2 days. And they want to debate that price.
Maybe because I'm just really good at what I do, right? They never consider that. They never consider that I can do it faster because I've been doing it for 25 years, right? But taking away money from the realtor like that to get the job done, to get the deal closed, feels the same way to me as a designer or anything else. Go, wow, she made decisions quickly in this project. Well, I gave her a flat rate fee. I don't refund her money because she was agreeable.
Because she was talented and knew what she was doing.
Right.
Shame on you. I'm taking this away.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're not supposed to be good at your job and have it be easy.
Yeah. And you look at the liability, how much those professionals end up working for free, and they do a lot of that. And so I have no problem with them getting paid for the work they do. And so that's just one of those things that, again, when I'm hiring a professional, I don't debate so much as it 1%, 2%, or 3%. I want the highest quality I can get for what I get, but I'm not going to sit there and try to get the discount to do that because I want them representing me. I don't go find the cheapest attorney when I need an attorney. I want the best one.
No, yes, agreed.
Don't
do that.
So, it's just what it is.
Don't use the Chat GPT lawyer.
Yeah, we were talking about that. Yeah, go Chat GTP, guys, or go AI Georgia attorney and watch the video.
Right, that's what I mean. Like, don't use that one.
Don't use that one. Don't use that one. So
humans still have value.
They do. Now, one of the problems, Wendy, that I'm seeing, and I was out at a house yesterday with my buddy, and I'm not going to name names because I want to tell the story correctly without throwing too many people under the bus. This is a $1.5, $1.6 million house. And the inspector had no idea what they were doing. They had a house inspection for part of the deal. And he sent me stuff like, oh, the galvanized roof flashing is corroded. He goes up on this 9/12 roof pitch, and it's kind of brown because it's copper and it's in good shape.
Brilliant.
And it's a 50-year roof that's 20 years in on it. It looks great. The copper is beautifully installed, flashing up against the chimney. It looks like an old penny. It's beautiful. It's what it is. Then he goes in the crawl space and said there was a huge mess of the crawl space down there. No low point drain. This house was built in the 80s. In our area, you're going to have a low point drain, and said it needed a whole crawl space system down there. Realtor jumps down on the crawl space, and yes, yesterday this realtor was in 2 crawl spaces, 2 attics, and on 2 roofs because he was calling out the bad inspections that were happening. And he goes down in the crawl space, suits up, goes down there, and it already had a below grade drain system. It needed a little plastic, but not $20,000 of the work.
That's a new thing. That seems to be a very recent reoccurring theme. Oh, you need a whole new system, right? Because my mom just went through that, right? They like,
absolutely.
Oh, there's cracks in the foundation. But once we got under there, oh man, you've got a lake under there, and you need $25,000. Next $74,000 quote later. I'm like, Ma, no, don't, nah.
And we had my buddy, who's a licensed contractor, come out there, who's a friend of the show. And what was it, like $8,000, and did a bunch of stuff underneath there? $6,000, yeah. So
that's a lot better than 74,000.
Yeah. The guy that gave her 74 said, well, how about 50 then? Like that quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cute.
There is a huge problem in areas.
Jail?
And Wendy, you guys aren't a huge area for crawl spaces, and basements, are you? You're mostly slab on grade stuff down there in California where you're at, or is there a mix?
A lot of the newer homes are slab, which is unfortunate for me when I want to redo something or move any plumbing. The home that we just bought is a raised foundation that I'm thrilled about. So I could put in a coffee bar here and a wet bar there and do all these fun things. Yeah, I think they just assume that you're just not going to go check. You're going to take their word for it. If it's not something you can see right there. So if it's like really high on a roof, like you just mentioned, or underneath, the floorboards, then people just kind of accept that. And I don't know. Those things to me are just so hard because any little thing that isn't absolutely right with the client, it just sits on me. I mean, I have to handle it and talk to them and make sure they're okay. And if something, something was supposed to come on at this time, but really it's going to be shipped at this time instead. And I immediately want to call them because I never want to betray that trust. That's the only thing I have. Yeah. And to have people make a living by deceit, I would die. I don't think I could I couldn't. I don't know how people like that do that. But it's a
national problem, especially when it comes to foundations and stuff. I mean, it's a huge deal out there. Because it's one of the scariest things for most homeowners. They're not usually in their crawl space. It's not like it's siding where they can walk up and touch it. And so many people get scared of the house is going to fall down around you. My gosh, I got to protect my investment. And there goes $50,000. And, that out the door that quickly.
So they need a second opinion. Or third,
at least, going
to the doctor, like you have cancer. No, you don't.
Here's the problem in a real estate transaction. By that point, you've got an offer in, you've got a 10-day inspection period, let's say, right? And to get somebody to come out, take a look at it, come back, give you a quote, you might be halfway through the inspection period at that time. You're at 5 or 7 days. And now turning around, getting somebody to come out in that inspection period to give you a second and third can be tough. So I almost look at it and say, I want to get 3 different quotes on an inspection like that with real estate. And if you're selling a house, I would get that house inspection done before you even put it on the market so you can address those things. I mean, great example. My house, same thing with the inspector. He called out the weirdest stuff. One of them was crack in the foundation with water leak. I knew exactly what it was. And Johnny and I laughed about this because it wasn't water. It was epoxy from where we fixed the foundation correctly. Because it had a repair.
Even touch it. It just
you didn't even touch it. It just looked glossy in the flashlight in the crawl space. And
oh my gosh.
So I literally went down there with my phone and took my pocket knife, and there was a bubble, like looked like water had been running. I'm like, tink, 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 tink. This is not water. And
oh my gosh,
it was insane. And those are the things that he did catch one thing, which I was like, oh, I didn't even know that. Okay, cool. Fixed it real quick.
Mm-hmm.
But again, that's some of the things that we see from these inspection people out there. And then tied in with the foundation people, I just feel bad for people in that situation because, and here's the part too. If Wendy, let's say the three of us showed up at a house and
no one would want that.
Nobody would want that. Nobody would want that. But if we showed up at a house and they said, okay, here's a yellow notepad, here's a flashlight, and some blue tape. And one of us has blue, red, green, and we can't see what everybody else called out, let's say, for an example. But can you imagine? I can take a beautiful project, and if I want to, I can tear it apart. There is usually some little detail you walk by and go, well, that drywall corner isn't just perfect. Or that scribe molding is just not perfect,
I am the worst. I am the worst at that. I do it in restaurants. I do it.
Restaurants are the worst.
I do it everywhere I go. I'm like, oh, look at that crown joint. It's just
you guys are tortured. You're tortured people. That's terrible.
It's eagle eye syndrome. You just you notice every little that cock joint.
I walk into bathrooms, commercial bathrooms in many places, and I walk and I'm like, did a blind 8-year-old do the tile job in here? Who did layout? Who missed layout day?
The worst.
Yeah. I try to compartmentalize. I mean, if I get to go to a restaurant and I'm with my friends or my family and it's not work time, I don't want to see it. I just want to try to take in the overall.
I don't either. I don't want to see it.
And then have a cocktail and quit. No, no more.
There's my answer. There's my answer. Whiskey.
Cocktail.
Whiskey fixes it. Whiskey fixes it. So.
Oh my goodness.
But it's so true. It's so true. And, it's tough. And I think the other thing that I think people have a hard time with, and this is something that we've talked on other episodes here before, but you think of the 1950s. We had entry-level homes that were 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 900 square feet, right? That was your first home. Nobody's doing that unless you're in a metro, top 5 market kind of thing where you're Chicago or downtown LA
condo.
Or, you know what I mean? New York, that kind of thing where most people in entry-level home now, that standard has somehow changed to, well, I need 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, 2,800 square feet on a 1/4 acre lot. And now you're not in an entry-level price.
No.
It's because America has to supersize everything.
Oh.
Right? More is always better.
True.
Until it's not. Until you're suffocating.
I think it's not. The place I live in is probably 900 square feet with 2 bedrooms and 2 baths and it's and 2 giant dogs, and it's great. 2 balconies, happy as a clam. I don't want all that space to clean. I mean, big, cool houses are cool. Don't get me wrong. But
they are.
Do we need them? Do we need them? If you're a single couple that's at work 12 hours a day in traffic and you spend 6 hours a day in this giant house you had to have because neighbors had one.
Okay, true confessions, you guys.
Yeah, here's mine too, so let's go.
My husband grew up on a ranch.
Nice.
And he has these wonderful memories of being with his great-grandpa, his grandpa, and his dad on the ranch, on the blue Ford tractor, and seeing the 1944 Farm All tractor.
Yep.
It was his grandpa's on the other ranch that they have in Stockton. And when we got married 12 and a half years ago, we moved into this home that you see here. This will be the last time that we have our little podcast in this house. But, it's like a 2,000 square foot home. There was an addition that became the man cave. There's a pretty little backyard. It's easy for me to take care of. And I love working in the garden. No problem. he's not happy here because he's surrounded by fences. And I don't think he understood what that was going to do. So in looking for a home for over 3 years, it was always home with property.
Yeah.
So that he could get back out on that tractor. And that man, we finally found it. It is 9.7 acres.
Nice work.
Nice.
You don't have to see your neighbors.
And it's going to be just the two of us unless my son chooses to move into the little apartment over the garage. And it's like a 3,000 square foot house. So I find myself thinking, oh my, what am I going to do with this? How am I going to keep this up? How am I going to take care of the garden? I have this, thank God, a really busy career and a life and all these things. And I'm looking at thinking, I don't know how I'm going to do this. But he's so happy out there, beep-bopping around on his little Ford tractor with this new mower he got at the Mulrooney auction. He was all thrilled. It's like he's so happy.
I've lived this life. I had 20 acres, and most of it, when I first got it, was hay, and I was doing that. And then I realized that I was allergic to hay, and I'd be on the tractor for an hour, and my eyes would swell shut no matter what I took for allergy medicine. I'm like, this is going to be an orchard,
Yeah. So I'm just trying to think, like, how can I make sense of this? Because this is the home. This is the house I do for clients, right?
Yeah.
My own home. I'm just grateful in my history, I didn't actually even know if I've had a home again after I had to leave my son's dad. But so I was just so happy to have this pretty little home. And now I'm just, but in life, you adapt for the people that you love, and you try to make it I don't know. So maybe I'll try to turn it into a venue or make sense of it in some way, because I'm just like, what am I going to do with this? So I understand all the things that John is saying, because I always thought I would retire in San Francisco and be a docent at the fine arts museums and talk about history like it's a soap opera.
Now I think you're going to be renting out farm space to feed people.
Chickens, goats. So.
Well, see, and if you do all that, then you can take up some of that square footage with, this area is for saddles, this is for feed, this is for
the 2 barns. Like, what am I? Oh my gosh! But
see, here's your next business idea, Wendy. So you're going to divide up like an acre or 2 of that, and then you can lease that out for people that live closer in town that could come out that want to have their own garden but don't have the space to do it. And then with that money, you can hire lawn care and house cleaning professionals and have it still look beautiful out there, but have somebody else pay for it.
I like this idea. I'm going to have to explore this. I appreciate it, because I was hearing John talk about Americans just want more and thinking, oh, no, I'm one of those girls. I can't believe it. So,
well, Elisa and I have been looking at houses, and, I see one. I'm like, oh, this is perfect, because I kind of like that 50s, 60s, 70s, mid-century charm. I'm not a fan of these houses. Some of the ones are so big, though. One, I don't want to pay for that. But 2, I'm like, well, I don't hate you. I want to see you in the house. So I don't want it to be that big where I'm like, is she even home? That's the thing. I don't need that much space. I mean, some of those houses we were looking at, I'm like, oh, this is cool. It's on property. I can have my shop, everything else out there.
Yeah.
I don't need a 4,000 square foot house.
Guys in our area, they'll buy a big, huge piece of property and a beautiful shop, and the house is garbage, which is good for me. But it's like the shop sells the land, honestly, out here, at least in farm world. And it's, and how much voltage goes to the shop? Do you have a 220 out there? What's available on the panel? What's your drain system like? How far away is the leach line for the septic?
That is so much more important if the master's on the main, right? I mean, it's like...
So anyway, that's why I felt like I had to confess to you, because I couldn't just pretend like I wasn't one of those people and lie to you by omission.
Well, no, I like it.
No, there's a difference, though. There's a difference, right? I mean, there's people that buy 3,500 square foot track homes in the gated community just to buy them and don't use them. Right.
Yeah, that I couldn't.
That's what I'm talking. I'm not talking about, like, if a 3,000 square foot house comes with the ranch that he needs, then that's justifiable.
Thank you for giving me your approval.
That's how it
not
goes.
in a country club. I can't do that. They don't let you garden in your own front yard in a country club.
It's like HOA. It's not going to work for me. Not going to work for me. And so same kind of thing, Wendy. And then, it's funny. We're talking about this. I was just talking in a meeting yesterday on a project I'm doing. We were going over the video I did a year ago that this person had. It's a 23,000 square foot house on the river here. And I'm like, I mean,
I'm sorry, not 2,300, 23,000. Okay, just want to be clear.
The ballroom is 1,800 square feet.
The ballroom. Do they keep bears in there, or like what do you do with that?
But I mean, it looks
An
like
Avery,
you're in a
I don't
castle
know.
in England. It looks like you're in a castle in England. And of course, it didn't make the cut. I started singing an AC/DC song about big ballrooms. Well, let's leave it at that because this is radio.
Right.
But it's funny because I look at that, and of course, in that one they were trying to sell, and they made the mistake of making it too personalized.
Yes.
And they haven't been able to sell it because it's so quirky in what it is that it's just, and they've had the best people trying to sell this, but it's, I think it's $12 million for this place. Unless you've got that same quirkiness, they made that mistake. And remodeling a 23,000 square foot house is not a pretty penny to spruce it up so you can sell it.
No. It's funny that you say that. There's a bright white castle on top of one of the foothills out as you go up toward the Sierras. It's a I don't know, like bright white castle. And it's called Castle something. And it's been on the market. Like 5 or 6 different realtors have tried to sell that thing. And it's just, it's hard. I think if you really believe it's your forever home, and maybe you have to put in like a elevator or something, so it really can be, because you're not going to sell it. People aren't going to walk in and think, I feel so at home here. This is just perfect. It's not.
The ultimate way to punish your children. Good luck selling this when we're gone. See ya.
Yeah.
Should have been better kids.
Well, you'll be dead. You won't know. It won't matter.
Absolutely. Yep. It's
That's
your
what
legacy.
Jacob
Let
keeps
them
saying.
struggle
Someday
with it.
you'll be dead and I'll have to deal with this house. Lucky you.
Yep. Oh, it's so funny. But, that's the thing. And I think we just had last week on the show, and this was an eye-opener for both Johnny and I. We had Synchrony Bank on, and they were talking about what the average homeowner pays for maintenance. And about $7,000 a year for the average home. And the lifetime was what, $349? Johnny, wasn't it something like that? I think it was like $349,000 or something.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there of maintenance costs for their home. And it's an eye-opener because most people, and we talked about it, but most people think that, I'll spend a couple grand, that's all it is. But when you actually sit down there with the calculator, it adds up.
The pool guy, the gardener, painting, washing windows, housekeeping, new roof, however many, all like new window coverings, redecorating, redoing your kitchen. It just goes on and on and on and on. And if you don't do that, then when it does come time to sell, your home is just not ready, and you won't get what it could have been worth had you maintained it properly. I know a lot of people that are great at acquisition of things and of people and of property and of whatever.
There's a show on TV called Hoarders. It's about that.
But maintaining the things that you acquire is really the adulting part that a lot of times can be missed. And it's unfortunate because it takes something that was once really beautiful and special, and it just sort of wastes away, and that's sad.
That's why I quit acquiring.
It's acquiring. That's the fun part. It's the thrill.
I'm not good at the adulting part.
Yeah.
Well, maintenance is a thing for sure.
It is. One thing I want to talk about before we run out of time, and it's always an interesting one, is when you're picking your realtor, I think there's a couple things you should be looking at. And it's not the car they're driving. It's not the listings that they have. But I think that is your biggest advocate as a purchaser, right? And there are realtors that will not get dirty, and there's ones that will go to the last mile to help you out. And My buddy the other day, Sean, was same. He's that guy. He'll go on the roof when the inspector calls something out and go, "You're wrong. Here's why." And we'll sit there, take the video, send it to the other realtor and go, "Hey guys, here's what happened. Inspector was wrong and here's why." And he'll send it over to fight for you. Mm-hmm. Where there's others out there that have the other school of thought that is well, that's what the professional said, and I'm not in a place that I'm going to argue that. Mm-hmm. In that case, if that person would have hired a different realtor, that would have cost them about $60,000 in repairs. Mm-hmm. And I think there are some consequences that are maybe unintended if you pick the wrong one.
Yeah, I think it's important
a lot of consequences.
Read reviews, certainly read reviews, mm-hmm. and personal recommendations are important too. But I also think the personality fit is key. And
it's huge.
We encountered this too, and it was really, honestly, extremely difficult because my son's best friend's mom, who's a very close friend of mine, is one of the top agents in the entire area. Mm-hmm. And then I have a very close friend that I met when my son was 2, and she's also a very top realtor in the area. They work for different firms, mm-hmm. and my relationship with them both is very important to me, and mm-hmm. they're dear, dear friends, but in different, because I know them in different contexts.
Yeah.
And my husband is very cautious, and mm-hmm. he's slower to make decisions, mm-hmm. and he kind of waffles back and forth because they checked right. And I didn't want to put the friend of mine from my son's kindergarten mm-hmm. in all these years through that because I didn't feel like I could handle her experiencing that level of frantic
frustration, whatever you want to put on that, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, you're like, it's just like a design client. You're like, oh, this is not going to work well because of A, B, C, and D. And those are real A, B, C, and D. There's many a project that John and I got working on together that looking at the homeowner, it was like, there's a few that we didn't do projects with back in the day because it was like, this is not going to work. We could come in with the best plan, the best way to do this. In the end, there's no way this person's going to be happy with a perfect project, mm-hmm. let alone the reality of what it's going to be. Mm-hmm. It's the same thought process in my head.
Yeah.
Those
and
are
the
lessons.
other gal is just, sorry, go ahead, John.
Oh, no, they're lessons hard learned, right? And you know Shannon Stell, Eric.
Oh, yeah.
Best real estate agent I ever had picked us up to go look at a house in this crazy fur coat, like green glasses in a Volkswagen van.
I forgot about
60s
this.
Volkswagen van, like just this hippied out crazy woman. Yeah. And I'm like, that's our gal. Like, I could get along with that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. No Mercedes, no pretension.
No pretentious,
like,
just
hey, what's up? Cool. Yeah, let's go. Same gal that would jump under a crawl space with you, came to demo parties with us on our rentals when we bought them. Like, just like all in on being the best she could. Like, and the personality piece goes back to something you mentioned at the beginning of the conversation is that fear of missing out feeling like, oh, but if we don't make the offer, we might lose this one. This might be the one. Having a realtor that understands you as a person mm-hmm. and the way you behave and, you know, me being prone to knee-jerk reactions or whatever, they can save you from making some real big mistakes if you have that relationship where they're able to go, hey, calm, stop, listen to me. Here's what I see you doing. Again, remember last time, right? Like, so, I mean, the relationship.
I got a negotiating nugget for you if you're a buyer, and this is for 2026. So you guys got to pay attention to this one.
I don't.
You don't. We have cameras everywhere outside of our homes.
Yeah.
What is human nature? You walk through this house, no one's home. You're with the realtor that you're familiar with. The door closes. They put the key back in the key box. You stand out in the driveway in front of your cars in the driveway, and you talk about what you just saw.
And Eric watches you.
I watch every single one of those security cameras, and I can see what the concerns were I don't know about this. I'm like, oh, we might want to address that in the ad to make people, because some people had a lot of home tech stuff in, they just didn't know what it was. And I'm like, oh, we need to explain that out better. And then I saw others that sat there and went, I think we're going to put an offer in, but even though we could pay X, I think we should give Y. And you're like,
that's common.
Well, but here's the thing.
I will say this.
It says active security
I get
cameras
it. I'm
outside.
just saying, like,
this does make me want to just go look at houses just to like pull
mess with
pranks,
people.
right? Just
There's
like
a
say,
video series.
kind
I'm
of
starting to get to know you pretty well. I think now.
color in that kitchen, right? Like just a bad mouth that watch and go, what a jerk.
No.
Wendy, it's almost like presenting to a homeowner, a client. And this would be so illegal, so I don't want to say this should be smart, but it's almost like presenting to a homeowner with the contractor, this big remodel, walking out, and then you're on a TV show where you have the cameras and you get to see the thoughts after the door closes when you leave.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, but just be careful out there, guys, because that discussion is probably on the security camera and anyone can be a part of that. So if you're going to have that conversation, say, hey, let's jump in the car real quick and have a chat, and have your chat, because you're not going to hear that.
Yeah, only Google will.
Top up.
And Amazon and
Google will hear you on your phone.
Yeah.
Ring cameras, the doorbell cameras, those are the same thing. How many people have those? So just think about, you could be giving away your negotiation.
You could be showing your
trying
hand
to do this
instead of holding it close to the chest.
Yes.
And you don't want to do that.
Wow.
See, I did get that one right.
Yeah. You got it.
Poker and whiskey, and we'll all be fine. No,
absolutely. Oh, I'm cutting that soundbite out. That's going on the show. Legendary interior designer Wendy Glaister gives her tips on how to get through a project. Poker and whiskey, we'll all be fine.
I can't say it's never happened. I don't know.
There we go.
There you go.
And so now you're going through the house process. It's purchased. Now you're making it yours, and you got a move coming up, it sounds like.
We did the first phase of the move yesterday. We're doing it in 2 phases because my husband is cautious. But the things that we really attempted to get done before anything went in the home that would be permanently there was we refinished the floors.
Nice.
We had to refinish the floors because the insurance company said we had to take out the wood burning stove and they wouldn't insure the structure. Oh. And it left like a 5-foot.
That's right. You're in California.
Gap. Yeah. Yep. So too bad. The yellow oak floor had to go. And now it's this beautiful classic medium brown. Wasn't my fault. We did have the stair railing recolored. And instead of the wood spindles, we put in iron. We did paint the interior because it hadn't been painted since it was built 24 years ago. And we swapped out some light fixtures. And there wasn't a good refrigerator in there. So we put the I know. I'm going to say it. Sub-Zero Wolf refrigerator.
Wow.
I know. And you don't like how the light goes woo, woo, woo like that in it. But it's cool. It has the little glass door, so everybody has to be tidy. It thrills me to no end. And then
so now you're buying glass milk bottles so you can see how much is in the milk,
it's so
right?
Pretty. Now, and then finally this week, we got the Zipwater installed.
There you go. Your Zipwater, I haven't messed with that, so that's one that I haven't played with at all.
Oh, no, Eric. Guys. It'll change your whole life.
You mean I won't be using these water bottles anymore?
No. And let's say like you're out on a job. You come home. Here's your lunch that you packed. It's all icky in the container. Yeah. You stick it under there. You put in the boiling hot water. Bam. It's evaporated and it's gone. It's hot and you don't want to heat up your house making dinner. You poach your salmon and your asparagus in the boiling water provided from the Zipwater tap. Never have to turn on the stove.
Wow.
Sparkling water, totally filtered, cold and sparkling water, both.
Can I do tonic water so I can use it with my gin? No.
Yep. Yes.
I think we walked ourselves into a sponsor.
No, but I'm just saying, like, even like knives, when you're chopping, you're trying to make this fun dinner and you want to sterilize your knife in between, just run it under the boiling hot water, you're done. I mean, I didn't realize, I thought it was just a toy, but it's not. It's cool. Sorry to go on and on. Anyhow, so now I can start moving things in, and I will this weekend.
There you go. Nice.
But just the stuff that's like attached to a wall or a floor, if you can get that done before you move in, it's really helpful. Because it's hard to live in a mess.
And hire movers when you can. I am tired of moving. I've done that a couple times where I hired the movers, and it is so worth it. And just be careful. So when you hire movers, don't go out and find the lowest bid ones. There's so many moving scams out there. When you do that, find somebody. Ask your friends who moved them. Mm-hmm. You know, I have a company I use here in the area that I'm not going to say because whenever I move, I like to use them. But I tell you what, I don't want to get them too booked up. Having a good mover is priceless that you can trust.
Yes. The crew yesterday was unbelievable.
Nice.
I have moved probably, I think last count was 86 times. I've never hired a mover.
I know.
You know what I really appreciate about you, John, is that you give
none
us,
of my stuff
you
is
help
light.
balance out our perspective. Like,
yep.
It's really good because you hear perspectives from all three different ways, and it's very fun, and I appreciate it a lot.
It is fun.
And you must be very strong, and your back must never have gone out, right?
My back is still pretty solid for an old guy, yeah.
See, and that's amazing.
I'd move giant studio equipment, 3,000 record albums. Those are not light in boxes of records. Like,
but when
all my tools, all my construction tools, none of those are light. Like, we're not talking light things. Like,
but let's go back to the band days here, Johnny. I never saw you over there helping me take my big amp up the 42 stairs to the Carriage House production room after a gig at 2:30 in the morning.
That's not true. I was always the helper. It was Dylan who was drunk on the grass that couldn't load his own drums. It was never me. And I was the singer. I wasn't supposed to carry anything.
I know it. He had lead singer's disease. LSD, as we call it.
I was always the last guy helping.
Yep. I'm giving you hell, buddy. I'm giving you hell. But yeah, that's, but that's the thing, some of those things are so good. And don't forget the draperies before you move in. Figure that stuff out early, right?
Fishbowl is hard to live in.
Yeah. I've moved into a new house before in my younger days. Actually, that was about the end of when the band was, I was moving to another house in Gig Harbor, Johnny. Moved into a brand new house that I was renting in the time because I wasn't sure if I was going to stay in that area or not. Moved in, didn't think about it. No blinds in the entire house. Not a single one anywhere in a residential neighborhood. And I'm like, and I'm a renter. So now I have to go figure out what to do with blinds. And that was a little bit of a bite to take in because even the cheapest ones are expensive when you start counting windows.
Oh, yeah. Window coverings are a real investment.
Absolutely. And now I like the good ones, Now I'm like, if I'm going to do that, I'm going to get the motorized ones that open up for me. And with energy prices these days, sometimes they can make sense when you're trying to control sun and things like that in your house, especially with high power rates.
I like to touch windows twice at least.
Ooh.
It drives my husband crazy. But I like if I have a roller shade, I still want beautiful, tailored fabric on each side so it's softer, so it feels finished. And he's made the comment before, are we going to touch every window 2 or 3 times? Yes, we are. Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Me and your husband to get along just great.
You guys will get along great.
I'm much more the Miami Vice. I'll just take the one layer.
On the tractor. You and Eric can talk window dressings. I'm
a high-end one-layer guy. Maybe 2, but 1. So
I'm a tractor guy.
That cute little blue Ford tractor that Mark's out on every weekend. He loves
I was out in front
thing.
of my new shop that I'm building out, and we'll have to wrap it up here in a second. I walked by the tractor and went, "Oh, cool blue Ford." No, that's a Lamborghini tractor.
Whoa!
What?
I didn't.
Did you know that
Lamborghini
is actually a tractor company first before they were a car company? So here's how Lamborghini was founded. 2 Italian companies. There was Lamborghini Tractor. The guy that founded Lamborghini went to go buy a Ferrari, and it was always broken down. And I think he reached out because he was so mad to Enzo Ferrari back in the day and went, I want my money back, basically. And I'm paraphrasing this. The history's similar to this, but I want my money back. This thing's a piece of garbage. And they basically told him to, head off into the sunset. And he went, I bet you I can build a car better than yours. And founded Lamborghini cars and started building supercars. And the rest is history. So
that's a good
Lamborghini is here because of a bad customer service experience with Ferrari.
Fair enough.
Kind of funny. So, but the tractors are cool. I can totally geek out on those.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So you're there's my background on the farming stuff that I know. So
yeah, my husband's Italian and his mom is 100%, and they're very particular about vehicles. Very particular. Yes,
absolutely. That and pasta.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Wendy, we have run out of time. Thanks for coming on today. What's the best way to people to track you down out there if they're like, I need Wendy to do a huge project for me?
I would love to help you do a huge project. Wendy Glaister Interiors, and Glaister spelled Glaister. We have a website and Instagram, and I'd love to have you join us on all of our fun little adventures. We put stories up quite often about all the different projects and where they are in the process, so you can see how it all comes together. It'll be fun. Thanks for having me again.
Awesome, Wendy. So much fun. John, great to have you on as always, brother. Appreciate your help with all this. Always fun hearing your perspective.
It's always fun bantering with Wendy. Always a good time.
It's easy to get I know. I'm very gullible. No, but it's easy to get my
like you said, the three of us create this super cool dynamic. It's just so much fun. It's so easy to talk and so much fun and so many different perspectives. It's really a joy. So thanks again for being on, Wendy.
I love to visit with you guys. Sometime I want to see a cool project you guys did together. That'd be cool.
Well, that was back in the 2000s when not all of us had cameras that we kept the pictures from too. So that's the hard part.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll do stuff on Maui then, because I keep trying to suggest that, but
I know
maybe you'll say yes at some point.
We might. Might.
Let's go.
Sounds good.
All right, guys. I'm Eric G. And for John Dudley, you've been listening to Around the House.
We would love for you to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for catching this episode of the Around the House Show.